Okay, that's Porchy. I'm gonna go ahead and block him.
No, no way.
Just I can't with the freaking. Okay. Just I can't with.
Okay,
Yes,
we're live
we're
now.
live.
Dude, yeah, apparently. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our broadcast. We have done the entire qualifying session while my console has told me we have been live this entire time. And it said 27 minutes and 50 seconds when I turned it off. Um, Thank you for that, PlayStation. You guys have a special place in my heart. As I am joined by my co-host Big Jim.
What's up,
Um,
peeps?
so we have said so many words, and none of it was actually captured.
Yeah, who cares? It's just qualified. We're going into the race here.
Maybe I can work some editing magic
Oh
and
gosh, that
just
sounds like more work than it needs to be.
I'll just upload. I don't know. We'll get something going on. We'll try to get qualifying uploaded to the channel for some reason, even though nobody watches it. Just to kind of say this is all the details we spoke about. To go over it, we of course went over the entire qualifying run. Clay the Monkey set a very fast time, 5/10ths faster than the field. It was raining as well, so yeah, that was
Yeah, I'm sorry y'all
fun.
missed all that because it was kind of fun watching them slip and slide around. I think that was the first time they had seen the rain all season. I feel like it might have been. Maybe no, Silverstone a little bit. I saw a little bit of rain there, but that was the first qualifying session they had in full wet conditions.
Yeah. Um, so things we went over from the previous attempt were the D1 points are very close now that Jackson is retired for good for the rest of the season. Um, close with that gap a lot, so there's only like a 3-horse race for the rest of the season. We have 4 races, including this one, left between Clay with 99 points, Heredia with 98, and Joker with 97. So there's a 2-point gap between first through third there. Um, we also spoke about the D2 points because we have a few D2 reserves racing tonight. Figured we'd give them some love. Um, the driver departures and drivers that have been acquired by their teams. So with Jackson's retirement, Killer went to Ferrari. Spinnenwin was called up from D2 to Red Bull. Um, Useless Cat came back from retirement to race in the Alfa Romeo alongside that one Porchy dude. What else we got? Baseball Kid is down in D2 as we saw last night. So there's a new Mercedes driver.
Killer to Ferrari.
I shade that one. As once again,
How
it looks
about
cloudy.
Carson? Did we
Yep,
bring up
Carson.
Carson?
Carson was a late entrant to the entire season. It didn't race last week though, but this is his first race here in the D1 series.
Gary looking for the sweep. Won last night in D2. Didn't
Indeed.
cross the line first. It was Go Boom who crossed the line first, but because Gary had no penalties by virtue, he jumped Go Boom and was able to win Grand Prix in D2. He's looking to win it tonight as well, starting second. What else? I think that kind of covers it. I think we're back up to speed.
I think so.
Hopefully a little bit. Hopefully a little bit. I know we just lost about 20 minutes of coverage, and I'm really sorry about that. But I think we got y'all back up to speed. Tigers home track as well. It's a lot of guys' home nation track because do they go to Miami? I don't think they
No,
do.
I think we might
So
be next season though.
this is the single American track on schedule. So this is a home track for a lot of our uh, Americans out here, but Tiger especially. based out of Texas. He is ready to go for this one.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting for players. I think this time we're actually going to allow. I think that's why we had to restart, Dylan. I think it was because someone hit the go too soon.
I think it was something with Tiger's internet.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It seemed like we went going like way too soon last time. Someone hit the get ready button.
So now they've given the thumbs up for readying up. So very shortly, there's no formation lap. So we will get right into the action here in COTA, or Texas at COTA. It looks a bit cloudy, so the track temperature should be a bit cooler than it would have been in their previous session. But
we'll have to get our in-race reporter to tell us if there's any weather predicted for this one.
Yeah.
Killer XL got a
zero weather, zero bad weather is in the forecast.
Zero bad weather.
Is it at least
sunny day?
Nice sunny day, huh?
Yeah, nice
Gotcha.
sunny day here in Austin, Texas.
Tan
Great
folk.
day for a race.
Great
Austin.
day.
It was beautiful here. It was like 70 degrees all day.
As Tiger has unfortunately left the session, I think that is a lag out as
Oh,
we have the
wow.
5 red lights. And away we go here in Austin, Texas. So we
Stinks
see.
for Tiger.
Yeah, his AI will take over for the time being until he's able to come back. As Clay keeps the lead from the start through turn 1. Tiger down so many positions because of the AI setting is so low.
And not a good start for Gary either. He fell back from P2 to P5. Just not a good start, but a lot of time in this race, a lot of time to make that back up.
Yeah, Tiger NASCAR lagged out, went from P3 to P19. Or 18.
All the way to the back.
His AI is battling Logan aim back here for last.
Head on to the straightaway. They're all single file. But right here, a little Ferrari on Ferrari action. No, that's a Ferrari on a Haas, and that's going to be Killer going around Gary. As a little contact. Oh my goodness. Carson and Joker making some contact there into that sharp left-hander. Able to keep it clean, no wing damage.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight battle here as Tiger comes back. These top 4, as we see something happen to, I think, a light blue car in the back there, ghosted towards the middle of the pack. Can't tell what has happened though. So we'll keep moving as Clay does lead the first lap of the race. There's a caution, lead position already out of the race.
Oh no.
Facing the
Oh,
inside
yeah.
wall.
He is Kyle Larson's back there.
And a virtual safety car is already out here as Elite has left the session. He was really looking for some momentum from last week to get the rest of the season going here. As this week, it will not be his week to get that motivation back, or the momentum, I should say, as well. Which is unfortunate for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him, but keep your eye on some movement through the field. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up.
I'm going to keep my eye on Tiger NASCAR as he's actually back in the race session.
Yeah, +3 for Killer XL, +3 for Heredia after starting from the rear, +3 for Hex, +2 for Porchy, and +2 for Mike G.
I don't know what happened there, but Tiger drove through both Logan and Heredia. Contact with Logan, spun Heredia around. Is he lagging?
No idea. We saw it pretty bad with Mayhem last night. It can get to be undrivable at points.
So we, I think, are back under green here. Tiger left the session once again as Killer went up to P2 for a minute and then back down to P4.
Yeah, under fire from spin and win. Spin, very tight angle into that corner. Killer's going to be able to power on the outside and keep third for the time being.
Yes, Clay is already checked out to 2.7 seconds ahead. His DRS has been enabled since it was only a virtual safety car. Those laps still count. So
Clay doesn't have to worry about that right now. 2.7 seconds up the road. He's out of DRS. Carson, this is where your DRS train is. Carson, Killer, Spin and Win, Joker.
Carson
Soaps
all the
on
way
back.
through. Oh, Riley's around, I believe. But it's from Carson all the way through P9 and then from P10 to P13. We have a large train and a smaller train of DRS.
Yeah, this track not too friendly to ERS either. A lot of throttle time, even the S's, you're not really braking, so you're not gaining a lot of ERS. It's going to be a lot of ERS conservation through this thing if we don't have any cautions.
Yeah. As this train just makes its way through the long back straight. Coming
Does
through
anyone dare
here.
make a move, or do you just stay in line?
I don't know, man. That gap to Clay has gotten so much bigger. It's not like a super speed where you can bump draft in NASCAR. There's not much time to be gained unless that lead car is a lot quicker. Because you can't really, as the third car in line, third car in the race, I should say, and the second car is chasing the leader, there's not much you can do there but pass and hopefully gain that time up on leader of the race.
I don't think we mentioned it yet, but tire strategy to start this thing out: Clay medium, Carson medium, Killer soft, and a whole lot of mediums is what I'm seeing, Dylan.
Yeah, the next 5 cars are mediums. There's only 1 car on the hard that is Garrison. Next 2 from him, 10th and 11th on the mediums, 12th, 13th on the softs, and the rest of the field from 14th on back on the mediums.
Those mediums do get slick about
They do.
13 or 14 laps into the run. That's when you can't. I found out you can't full throttle the third to last corner, that little sweeping right-hander. Do not full throttle that on old mediums. Not a good idea.
Yeah, I was also a victim of that entering that corner. I just got a bit sideways there, and my front wing wasn't broken, but it was damaged on the right and couldn't turn as best as I could. The Scares is losing another position there. Is Kenny already with 3-second time penalty? Zero lap.
Porchy is Gary.
mediums.
Gary keeps sliding back through the field. Porchy was able to take the 9th position.
That's what you're gonna see on these
Porchy
medium
marching
or on these
forward.
hards.
Gary is gonna be waiting for those hards to poke in here in a couple laps.
Oh, as we see a caution here, the Aston Martin, I think, of Tiger went around. Tough day for Tiger so far.
Yeah, not fun for him. Definitely not the time to have issues with your internet.
Yeah, he's gonna need the internet to get its stuff together, as well as a safety car. And if he wants any shot of finishing in the points this race, or some wicked strategy here.
The Alfa
But-
Romeos are moving up. Useless as a cat, getting around with Soaps for 6th. And I think Porchy's got a pretty sporty Alfa Romeo back here. He seems pretty fast.
Yeah, that's usually week in, week out for Porchy. He's usually pretty quick, but when it comes down to emotions, whether he's being raced a certain way, can all just really affect him as well as other drivers in the field as well. So as long as he can keep a level head, he'll probably be good enough. Of course, at least points as we see Killer go around Carson for P2. But he'll get at least a few points as well, as long as he keeps a level head and finishes his race without penalties.
The Killer had to make that move. He is on the softer compound. He's got to go hard right now and hang on to it on the long run.
Yeah, Killer's got a good amount of time to make up to Clay on these straw bolt softs. I think they can really only last 9 or 10 laps, but you'll be getting pretty pretty slippery around these corners. You really got to ease it onto the gas pedal later on these runs, as Clay is just still building that gap. As we see Spinning One make a
ooh, wow,
pretty heavy dive bomb. Tries to get by both Killer and Carson, but falls back behind them. I don't know whether that was a move of desperation, missed braking points, or calculation, but he falls back down to fourth.
A little early for that, I would say. We're only on
Yeah.
lap 6 here.
At this point of the race, you really just want to ride around, because as Kenny retires on the pit lane so soon, Spinning One does get the move down on Carson. He will then chase down Killer as he gets pretty loose there out of that corner. The very tip of the track. As we have a couple cars side by side here. We're going to see how this all finishes up as Carson gets inside of
Joker
Spin.
Off racetrack.
Joker off. That's going to be a warning, but no penalty for him yet.
That's a frustrating one because he definitely didn't gain any time right there.
No. The Soaps ran the D2 race yesterday, and I think there was a slight contact
tight
there.
Yeah,
but
Masopes
no
and Eustace
effect.
The Cat, very, very close together.
This is Eustace's first race back as well, so he's looking to score some points. As Mo Soaps gets pretty loose there exiting that corner. It was a good job to not overcorrect it too far and get the car straightened out. The Joker's, I think that Joker going for moves on Miss Soaps, gets it done into one. Miss Soaps getting very close. Might have gotten a tap from Electric Days there, but I don't think he was even close enough from that camera angle. Looked a bit funny. As next season's Aston Martin owner is going to be really happy to see what Clay's doing to the field here, as that is where he will be going for season 6. I think Heredia is staying as Aston's owner, so he's going to be really happy to see that from his future driver as well. There's not much else to talk about. I think we just have a big old DRS train. Some battles here and there, but I think for now they're pretty tame. Saw Spinning One peek out from behind Killer for a moment, but doesn't actually go for the move.
Some guys have really drained ERS. I mean, I'm looking through the field. Some of these guys are down in the 20s and 10s. It's hard to gain it back. It really is. Pit cycle, that will help a little bit. And
yeah, you'll probably gain a good
holding,
40%.
Like not using ERS for like 4 laps will help you, but some of these guys are really low. Electric Days being down to 16%.
Electric used most of that ERS to get by Masopes, as these two will probably be around each other all race long, as Killer's already going down in the pits. We'll see what tires he goes to here when the 7-lap old softs.
Thinking hards?
Yeah. Yep. Puts on the hard compound. I wonder if he's going to try and go all 20 laps. It's possible, but you got to be careful.
I would absolutely bet. He's pretty aggressive on strategies.
As I think Clay could have gotten a warning there for cutting that one turn in the S's. As he just has a ginormous gap already. Already as an 8 laps, but almost 7-second gap is unheard of usually. Mike G with a 3-second time penalty back in 12th as well on those softs. You got to think, if Killer's already coming down, changing those up, Mike G's got to come down very soon.
I would say in the next couple laps.
Yeah, definitely. Because they can still drive above 25% of wear, but you don't want to be driving above that percentage. Because there's a chance you just lose that much time if you don't know how to handle those things.
Gary looking to the inside of Masopes. Not going to be able to make it there. But Gary is on the attack, trying to get back some positions with these hards. He's starting to come in, I believe.
You know, I'm really not a fan of how much the AlphaTauri and the Haas look alike from the front of the car. Because I've been thinking he's been an AlphaTauri this whole time. Granted, that is his D2 ride. But
he's a big fan of white cars.
Seems that way.
Clay still out, and he's still expanding that lead another second over the last 2 laps. Up 7 seconds on Spin and Win. Carson, Useless, Joker are all close to each other. I think
Tiger.
Tiger has finally just quit.
Yeah. This car's still on track. But, not for long.
He is ghosted.
As
So
we
it
did
shouldn't
call
bring
it there,
out full
Mike
force.
G did end up pitting for mediums. That's a. If you're gonna pit this early from the softs, I don't think the mediums are the best call. I mean, you gotta at that point you gotta be hoping for a late safety car if you're going on the mediums that late, this early. They're not going 20, 19 laps or so.
Yeah, I don't know what you do if you're on the medium. So the alternate strategy from last night, it would go from medium to hard. But I mean, you probably are going to lose time to Killer and Mike G and all these guys that were on the softs. If you pit halfway through and you also don't let your hards, work themselves in, you also lose more time, right? So I don't know how this will work, but I feel like the mediums compared to the softs probably weren't the call. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm really not quite sure. Because, that alternate strategy, the strategies that are always recommended are mediums to hards or hards to mediums. Which is usually the right call, as boring as it sounds, mediums to
Or
hards.
softs to mediums.
Softs to mediums can work, but at the same time, those mediums aren't going to last. And those
No.
softs, you can maybe squeeze 10 laps out of them, but then again, you still have 18 laps for the mediums. You can go 12, 13 on the softs, but the more laps you run on them, the higher chance you have of spinning out and spinning those rear tires and losing a whole bunch of ground, the car in front. So I don't think, the risk can be worth it, but it's too high of a risk for a lot of drivers as well. As we see every single car, besides 2 of them on the mediums, while those other 2 are on hards. KU and Logan both getting 3-second penalties there. Going back to Mike G's strategy, he'll gain time for now on both Gary and Killer and everyone else on like the 9-lap on mediums, but not when we get to probably, say, 10 laps on those tires or even like 12 laps on those tires.
Looking back at it, Heredia on the charge. He started dead last in this race, is up to 10th. ERS completely depleted. He definitely paid a price for getting up here and trying to put his name into the top 10. But I don't know. How do you gain ERS? It's by braking, right?
Yeah,
So
braking and staying off the throttle. I think the really two places you should really
that's
only use
not a
are
lot.
2 straights at this point. There's no
You
reason to
don't-
use
you
during the
don't
turns.
much at all because there's so many straightaways and the S's are full throttle pretty much.
I don't think it's because there's so many. I just think that the one straight is so large that it would, if you were to use it the entire straight, you'd probably use 30-40% of your ERS. Maybe close to 50 if you do it right out of the gate.
Yeah, so
Turn.
Heredia is going to have to go out here and do it the old-fashioned way without any ERS. Don't know if he has DRS. I'm trying to
No,
see
he
if
does
close to
not.
anybody. No,
He's
doesn't.
he's 1/10 out, which he has gained a lot of time on Porchy in order to get this DRS. Wasn't in the detection zone for that DRS, but I think he'll get it for the next coming to the straight, the main straight. As you can see, there's little dots on the map itself before the DRS zones or the detection zones. They must get within 1 second of those, of the car in front, and it has to be for position as well, because it can't just be a lap car, because that wouldn't make any sense. So we're going to see, as he's getting a ton of time on Porch, you got to think, are they working together just trying to catch the pack here? Pull little slingshot maneuvers as we see Spin and Win coming to the pits. He's got to be going to the hards as well.
The Soaps. Useless.
Useless Miss Soaps. 2 laps. 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 2
And pit road's starting to become a busy place. Those mediums just about reaching the end of their tire life.
Yeah.
Come down for the hards now.
You just threw a wrench in that plan, Jim. Softs
How about some
for
softs?
useless.
Okay.
He's looking to
That's-
gain some time here. He's now with him. He has got to be banking on a safety car, right?
That, or he's going to have to cook here, and he's going to have to pit and then cook again. He's just going to have to be all-out push.
Because he
And
does.
I don't even know, like, we saw Killer, he came in 8 laps. So, could you even make it to the end? No.
No,
You
no.
still have 2 laps. So, this is bold. I guess you are waiting for a caution.
Yeah, spinning with a 3-second time penalty as well. That was probably through the S's. He has fulfilled his tire requirement for the race, so he has gone on to 2 different compounds. So I wonder if the strategy is go from the mediums to the softs and then pit again for a new set of softs. But I'm not I think you might
Maybe you
get
go
2
back
sets.
to the mediums.
Yeah, you could go back to the mediums. But
Because you don't want to make that extra pit stop. That's going to completely
No.
derail your race.
he's going to have to. So no matter what tire he picks, he will have to pit once again.
Give a little update on your, I guess we'll call it your Championship 3, the 3 guys that are still really in contention for the Drivers' Championship. Clay still leading this thing. Joker third right now, off of a little bit of some guys pit, so he really will be probably around 5th to 4th. And then Heredia is in 6th. He's definitely going to be dropping back a little bit because he's also ahead of some guys. Leapfrog them on strategy, so he's probably around 9th. That's where your Championship 3 are at the moment.
Logan has retired in the pit lane. Can't wait for the game to spit his car back out on the track anyway. There's got to be a setting that where you say box this lap, there's got to be another setting where you can just retire the car when you pit so that they don't end up spitting your car back out on the track like that. Because your car, I don't think is ghosted. Well, it might be ghosted because it's AI at that point and they're going so slow. Yeah. So it should be ghosted, but it could get in the way of people's braking points and stuff like that, so it's really just not a fun thing to deal with, especially at tracks like Monaco, which happened to me, unfortunately, but move along here.
Does Clay come down this time? He's got to be feeling those mediums now. They got to be feeling very slippery.
He does
stay
not.
out. Carson? What are we thinking, buddy? What are we going to do here?
Does not.
Staying out as
Oh,
well.
Yep.
No. He has
Comes in. He can get into that lane so late, too, as Joker also comes in. The Heredia God. And I think those will be our only takers. Maybe Riley, since he's also in the 12-lap mediums. Uses the 136.5 to take that fastest lap away from, I think, Clay. Riley with a 3-second penalty coming into the pit lane as well. It's very enticing to speed on pit road here since that timing line is so late. You want to squeeze out as much gas as you can
that, or you
and
can
brake as
check
late.
people.
Yeah, keep it safe, brake check people.
Yeah,
It's
go 30
current-
miles per hour down pit lane.
As currently, even though it's almost a 14-second gap, we have AlphaTauri running P1 and P2 here. As Killer XL
Killer XL
unfortunately retires from this session.
Has wrecked out
Ugh.
right before the big straightaway.
That's something you really
That's-
hate to see.
That's a safety car, too.
Yeah,
And we have a caution.
we have a caution.
Oh, this just saved useless.
Yeah,
Big time. Man, that
I think it was one of those
really
things.
stinks. That's a tough debut for the new Ferrari driver,
Yeah,
for the team.
tough team debut is we're gonna see Clay coming to pit lane here. We're gonna see what tires he goes to. I would think the hards, because softs can't last that long unless he wants to save them for half the run.
Yeah, no, you're not going to the end on softs. You'd like to take another thing of mediums here, but obviously you can't do
Yeah.
that, so it is going to be the hards.
I wouldn't be too
It's
sure
gonna be
about
the
that one.
softs.
It's
gonna be
going
the
to be
softs.
the soft compound for Clay.
Okay. Forget I said anything.
Forget we
He
said
definitely didn't
anything
go to the
here.
hards.
He did not.
I want to see what Useless does here. I'm going to keep my eye on him.
Double
Another pair of
stack. They're going to be
softs.
softs.
So a lot of guys opting for the softs now.
The guys that run mediums previously are going for the hards now as well, as Hex goes to
Now,
the
if you're
hards.
Gary, you go on the mediums, right? You were on the hards to start. Your compound changes the mediums. This actually plays. This might play right into
Yeah.
Gary's hands.
He does gain a lot of track position from that.
Gain a lot of track position, but more importantly, you've got a set of tires that are going to make it all the way.
Yeah.
These guys in front of you, there's no way. Like, maybe they could, but they're not going to be fast. Clay and Electric are banking on another yellow, I'd imagine.
They'll be
We're gonna
fast in the
getting
early
going
part,
with
but
probably about 10 to go.
we see 4 cars opting for softs, 2 for the hards. I think since Carson just pitted, so he's not pitting a second time. And then the rest of the field on mediums here. So we could be going. We'll be going not this lap, of course. Riley's too far behind, but there's a chance for next lap or the lap after that. I think safety cars are like limited to like 4 laps, and then once it hits the 4th lap, they'll go green, and no matter whether you're there or not. As Riley is not even close.
Sounds like our pit reporter has gotten down there to catch up with the driver of the Ferrari, Francis Hamilton. So let's go ahead and throw it to the reporter.
Yeah, just use his whole name there, buddy.
Yep. Everyone's seen it anyway. Frank got a copy. I don't think he's happy.
No, we're gonna let him. We're gonna let him be for the
He's
time
gonna
being.
seethe.
We are going to let
That's
him
pain.
ride it out.
Our reporter is just getting stood up down there.
As
Changing
he
here.
could have had some help with that one. He's not very happy in the team chat. But
Okay.
we're gonna leave it there at that. We're gonna get back to the safety car.
I think Riley might have just gotten course cutting penalty. Got pretty close.
Am I
On yellow
cheating
flag.
KU? What are we doing here?
He's cooking.
Penning for new mediums, both of these guys.
We should have everybody ready to go this time by, so we're going to get going with 12 to go. And that's just outside of the range. I think 8 laps is probably how far you can stretch the softs. Maybe you
Yeah.
can stretch further, but it's gonna be treacherous for these guys.
You can stretch them pretty far as long as you don't get a puncture. Because once you get a puncture, it's game over.
Not a lot of guys with penalties either. Spin and win 3 seconds. Mike G 3 seconds. KU 3 seconds, and Riley 3-second penalties as well. But most of the field penalty list at the moment.
As I believe we'll be seeing our Mercedes AMG CrowdStrike F1 sponsored pace car, safety car. Exit the track as we see a car really dive off the track. It's that one Porchy dude.
Porchy.
What happened?
Porchy's done. That's a DNF.
It looked like he went full throttle and to the right. This is
The woes
F1.
continue for Alfa Romeo.
You don't really see that here.
That's peculiar. I have no idea what just happened and why it just happened.
I hope everything is alright over there. If it was like an emergency.
Yeah, definitely. So here we go, Clay.
Yep.
His car is away.
Pace car is
Where's
off
Clay
here.
go?
Now that's the question. This is right now. And they're
Actually,
back
wasn't
off.
the best jump. Carson kept up with him.
So Mr. Hex retired
Oh,
from the
Hex!
session there. I'm gonna see what happened. I don't know.
Quick caution, but he's out, and we almost have half the field out.
Yeah, this is not something we usually see from the D1 field.
And we've missed
Interesting.
every single wreck so far.
Just about. Myself with the 3-second time penalty. Well,
Tell me if you haven't seen that before at this track.
yeah. Can't say I haven't.
In the exact same spot, too. Oh,
As
another
Mr. Hex, I think,
caution.
retired in pit lane. I think he was just done.
Useless looking for a pass. He's going to get it done on Gary. Move Useless up to fourth. And Electric under fire from Carson. He's going to actually go ahead and take that spot. Let's move Electric. AlphaTauri is now legitimately
B1
1 and 2.
and 2.
Obviously, they are on the softs and Carson's on the hards, but AlphaTauri 1-2.
It's a great showing here from Electric. You don't normally see him up here. I'm very happy to see that from him as well.
He's fast. It's just sometimes he drives in over his head.
As Mr. Hex departs the session. Clay, fast lap of the race, 135.8.
And not using any ERS, doesn't look like. He's going to try to conserve that. Still 11 to go.
Yeah. They're going to have to go 14 laps on these softs, which can be done, but
There's no way you win with 14 lap old sauce. There's just no way. Especially if you're pushing right now.
yeah, I'm not sure what the game plan is. I would have thought mediums, but he was on the mediums before.
Yeah, he had to make a compound change. It was hards or softs.
I think what his plan is to try and build that gap once again and try to build enough of a gap where he doesn't lose too much time when if he has to pit once again for another set of tires. But only time will tell what happens with that.
Championship competitors going at it back here in 8th and 9th. They have fallen a little bit in the order. These are important positions. Every point counts by the end of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter whether you have 1 or 2 bad races in the beginning, because even those days will matter as well. So it's hard to just shrug off like a bad finishing result, as we see Spinning come down in the pit lane
Yeah.
as he retires
Retiring
from
from
the session in the pits.
Wow.
So we have little over half remaining.
KU might get in the points.
He could. At this point, just finish the race and you'll be alright. So we're actually going to try and see what kind of penalties everyone's got. As the highest penalty we have is a 3-second, and they are for Useless, Masopes, Mike G, Riley, and KU, B-Ball Fan. So, going to go back to tires.
As you would expect, the soft drivers are all 1, 2, 3. They're going to pull away for another 3, 4 laps. But then these mediums are going to kick in. And those hards might kick in at the very end for Carson.
Yeah, but I don't think those hards will win you a race at this point.
They could. It's just, it depends how long he's been on the hards. Gary was able to take third right there from Useless. He's on his charge up through the field still as we work lap 19 of 28 here from Coda.
Yeah, Looking at uses here, he really needs to build a gap on these softs, or the next compound he will go to, if he does end up pitting once again. Because he has a 3-second penalty, he will lose all these spots behind him until Misopes, so he will be finishing 7th if the race was to end right now. So...
Carson
Top 3.
continues sliding on back. He's back to 5th now.
Top 3 have all broken away, but they all have broken away from each other as well. So, actually no. Top 2 have broken away, but they're also not with each other either. As we see another caution. It looked like it was Misopes
Is around.
Unfortunately for that Ferrari driver.
And KU is in the points.
KU is in the points. This race is all about survival at this point.
That's a tough break for Misopes, though. That's 2 nights in a row, virtually, where he's had something go wrong. And that one is... Unless we get a caution, this one's probably going to cost him a chance at points.
Yeah.
Heredia moving up.
It's
Up
something
to
you really hate
fifth
to
now.
see. But yeah, Heredia trying to get as many pushes as he can for the rest of these last 4. That quality band really isn't helping him out, but since we did get a safety car, that was a good chance to gain a bunch of positions back. But since they're so close together, there's a Joker with a 3-second time penalty as well. It's starting to get to the
Wow.
point where none of them matter because everyone's going to get 3-second penalties. It seems. The highest he can finish at this very moment is 7th. With
And
that 3-second.
Gary went in there so hard into turn 1, overshot the corner. I don't know if he got any sort of warning for that, but he definitely went off the racetrack, and Useless was able to make the crossover back on him.
Riley with a 3-second. That gives him 6. Gary Lassiter was very good at not getting track limit warnings. I
Yeah.
think throughout the whole race he only had 1.
Did he ever get one?
He got 1 or 2. But the second one wasn't until very late in the race, I'm pretty sure.
That's impressive. Being fast and not getting penalties.
Yeah.
That's a virtue, and that's something that will win you races.
Indeed, as he will get a spot on Useless by the end of this race if he is within 3, as he just takes that spot anyway. He's just going to try to make a move on the outside, though. Doesn't get anything going. Under fire from Heredia as well. Useless is just going to fall on these old softs. As there he
Wow,
is,
that's a
Heredia
dive from Heredia.
gets it done, just about clears him.
How
Useless
did
is
he
just
make
falling.
that work? No
I don't know.
contact at
Electric.
all with Useless, but able to make
3
it past him.
seconds. There are 4 drivers without those penalties. Electric can only finish 6th at this moment, I think. If I do the math correctly there. Riley might drop to 10th with that 6-second as well. We're going to see a lot of shake-up. Misopes with the 5-second penalty, spinning in the pit lane, and he retires from the session. So if he finishes this race, he will get points. As the host is migrating, we're going to see what that does for
Hopefully
someone's
that doesn't do
internet.
anything.
Yeah, he was the host of the session. So we're going to see what happens here.
So Mike G in the points.
Mike G in the points. Come on.
That's a good story of the season. Started as a developmental driver down in D2. Still technically is, but he has really come on lately. He has gotten his first podium last night in D2, and he's done a lot of D1 races, getting a lot of experience with these race cars. And he's just continuing to impress me, I gotta say. It's fun watching him every week continue to strive to get better and put together better finishes.
Yeah. It's very impressive to see. It's something we like to see as D2 drivers ourselves as well. Watch these guys try to climb through the ranks of D2 and then try to score some points here in D1. Because he's been racing basically both series this whole season long. He's been racing D1 as a reserve for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And he wants to fight for that championship, so I don't think he'll be moving up anytime soon to
If there's
D1
one way to
full-time.
get faster, I think Mike has found out. So he and I go back and forth in DMs, and he always tells me all these little tips and tricks that he's found out by watching Heredia and Jackson, all these fast guys. He really has a knack for picking up on things and getting faster from these faster guys. This
Yeah.
is the perfect opportunity to apply what you've learned and to keep learning going up here into D1 and maybe put yourself in position next season for a D1 ride.
Yeah, I think he may have one next season. I can't remember because all the rides for next season are completely filled. Things can still shake out and change throughout this next off season, as we're going to see Heredia try to go by Electric Days here. Gets it done into this corner as well. Those softs are just dying out, as we might see Heredia not gaining quite yet on Clay. But if he can start
Heredia
gaining on
doesn't have a
Clay,
penalty.
no.
Neither does Gary.
But if Heredia can start gaining here very soon, he has a chance of winning this race. The very last position.
I think Carson is spun out.
Oh!
Okay, well that's going to change. I thought, it was too bad with the Hearts
Yeah.
anyway. He was losing too much time, losing too much track position, but that spin's definitely going to do it. Carson will not be winning this Grand Prix.
No. As if I'm Clay or Heredia, I'm really not hoping for a safety car here. I should say as if, yeah, both of them. Because Heredia feels as though he can make all this time back up. But if we do get a safety car, Clay will run away with this race, I do believe. Unless there's a move into turn 1, green flag.
You would think with only 10 cars on the racetrack, you wouldn't have to worry about a safety car, but some of these guys are still packed up. 4th, 5th, 6th,
Yeah.
are all in a line, and this could be a caution because Electric is really struggling on these softs.
He's just trying to get by Electric Days as well there. Make some contact, I think. Joker is just ready to pounce on these two guys. Just waiting to see if there is contact between them, looking to gain one or two positions. As we are joined by Misopes.
No, you're not. No,
We're not joined. We are not joined by
No.
Misopes. We are not joined by
We're
Misopes.
not.
I've misspoken there.
Ooh.
As no positions changed yet for 4th through 6th. These guys all have 3 seconds of penalty, so wherever they finish within each other are going to actually end up there. As I think we're going to see.
This could be tough for Joker because the top 3, those pay exponential points, right? It's 25, 18, and 15.
I think it's 25, 22, 18. I think.
Yeah, but that is exponential, and Joker would get points, but it wouldn't be podium points. So he needs to get up there and hustle at this moment. That 3-second penalty is going to be hard to do that even.
Yeah.
Heredia chipping into that gap just a little bit. Was 3.1 a lap ago. Now it's down to 2.7. And those softs are now at 10 laps. There's still 4 to go. Clay is going to be holding on for dear life. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close here.
Aston Martin and
I think Heredia is trying to gain. He's got to gain more per lap, but he's gained about 0.3 to half a second that much more time on Clay. But
he will gain more time on Clay because those softs are going to exponentially get worse.
Yeah, he's basically kept this gap this whole lap. He just gets by Electric
out
there.
of ERS. That's another thing. Clay's down to 13%. Heredia is at 5. So I guess they are gaining it a little bit, but maybe ERS won't be that big of a factor. Clay just trying to hold on. He's dominated this race so far. Pretty much led every lap.
Led every single lap from the start of the race to current lap.
Heredia trying to do his best Kevin Harvick impression and close in on a win here in Texas.
Yeah.
2.3 back.
I don't know, man. We're on 3 laps to go here. Clay needs to make no mistakes on these old softs. Gotta just hope for punctures. We're on standard damage, not simulation, so I think that also goes for tire wear is also on standard, whether that's even a setting you can put. But you can't just run over debris and get a puncture. So I don't think we will see any debris ahead of Clay anyway. But just throwing it out there, since we're not in
Heredia
sim.
can see him. He's got him on a line. He's trying to reel him in right now. Down to 2 seconds.
Down to 2 here. We're gonna turn off these tires. The penalties, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 2 seconds down that entire straightaway. Oh, he charged that right there. That might be a...
Yeah,
okay, that had to be some sort of cutting. Had to be a warning.
I mean, you can afford that at the moment, but you can't afford too many cuts. You can really only cut twice without getting that 3-second penalty.
Oh
You see
my
a
God.
battle
He's
here for useless and
killing it
Joker
in
as
this
well.
Sector. Yeah, Sector 2 into Sector 3. That was huge right there. It's down to 1.3 to the leader, Clay.
Yeah, there's a big battle here between 4th and 5th, but Heredia has gained so much time. He gained a whole second that lap.
Those
on
softs
Clay.
are hurting right now. These mediums are hurting, for God's sake. Those softs can't be feeling much better than ice at the moment.
No. You have to be so easy on the throttle. Am I just saying Mike G's in the lead for me?
Yeah, Carson has spun it, and he is getting down to pit road now. No.
You gotta think, is
full
he
course
just gonna
caution.
retire from the session?
Mike is definitely not the leader.
No, definitely not.
He did
Seretti
this
is
with
within a
Riley
second.
A couple weeks ago.
I think once he finishes, crosses the start-finish line, it'll change. But,
0.9.
0.7.
DRS enabled too.
Yep.
This is a big chance for Heredia.
Gonna have no overtake here by the end of this straight. Gets the DRS, gets within half a second
Oh,
as
he's
well.
gonna have to
too.
dive it. He's gonna have to dive it. No,
he's
he's
gonna
gonna
look.
fake the dive.
Yeah, no, this is the final lap.
What's Heredia gonna do?
This could decide the championship, although we do have
This-
3 extra
yeah.
after this, but this will heavily affect.
This is big. This is
okay.
gonna be a really, really slick part of the racetrack.
We are on the penultimate lap coming to the final. I think it was glitched out with
Yeah,
Mike G.
27 of 28. This is not looking good for Clay, but
No.
he's fighting very, very hard to keep in front.
I think that's why Heredia didn't make the move there, because he wants to make that move so
White
that
flag.
like late enough so that Clay can't get it back by him. As yeah, we are on the white flag here, final lap.
DRS can't make that dive. Not too close.
No.
Not close enough.
You don't want to make that mistake and take out your competitors. Is Mike? What is happening? God, I hate
Yeah,
this
don't
game.
worry. Yeah, don't worry about the
No.
tower over there on the left. The battle is right in front of you. It's Heredia versus Clay for 3 points, more importantly than the win. This could be a instrumental part in deciding who's going to be the D1 champion here for Season 5.
Yeah.
Down here, big charge. He's going to have to... Oh, he's going to... Yeah.
You have the
Gonna get
DRS
too
here.
loose on exit. Does have the DRS. Going to have to chase him.
This Clay does go to defend there. You can see that light is
Oh,
flashing. He's
look at
under
this,
10%
though. Look
battery.
at this. Huge
Heredia's
run.
going for the inside line, and he doesn't get that move done quite
Wow.
yet. Clay will have the inside here through these next couple corners.
Contact.
There might be some contact made.
That's clean.
Side
That's
by
clean
side.
and green.
Rubbin is racing. As
Heredia.
Clay goes for the undercut. I don't know if he'll be able to get it done
He's got
quite
the
yet.
grip, though. He's got the grip.
Yeah, Heredia's got more grip than Clay. As they're super close here. Clay
Clay is not
on the
done.
outside.
He's going to try to push it around the outside contact, coming to the final corner.
What is going to happen here?
Still side by side.
Clay.
Off the track goes Clay. To victory lane goes Heredia.
Heredia
gets it done.
Completes the last to first challenge That is unbelievable. For unbelievable drive for Heredia.
Wow.
That is probably the best drive we've seen all season long. Going from last to first.
I've got to hand it to Clay though. He's only going to lose basically 1 point. He's going to be 1 point behind Heredia, I believe, at the end of this thing because technically Heredia gets the 3 points.
I think.
And Clay did lead a lap, obviously, and he won the pole, so he gets 2 points for that, right?
He's also. I don't know who has the fast lap. It could still be useless, but it could have gone back to Clay since he started on these softs as well. I think Clay kept it. So, as Heredia, of course, we see driver of the day. Just absolutely mind-blowing drive from Heredia tonight.
That's as good as it gets right there. I mean, you've got to hand it to Clay as well that he was able to hold off as long as he did on the soft compound. 14 laps into it. Even Heredia on the mediums had to be struggling.
Oh, yeah. Both drivers just were losing so much grip every lap. And that was just an insane race. As well as Gary finishing for the first time in the points in his reserve career for D1. P3 for him takes that podium away from Joker. So you were right earlier on in the season. No point for lap lead, but P1 gets 25 points and P2 gets 18. And then it drops off. So he does.
Okay, so yeah, Heredia is going to be our new points leader.
Yeah, as we see here, Heredia P1 from P19 in the Aston Martin. Clay P2, Garrison 3rd, Joker 4th, Useless 5th, Electric Days 6th, KU 7th, Riley 8th, Mike G 9th, and Carson 10th. We can go through these last bit of guys, these last 9, but none of these positions really matter since they didn't actually finish the race, so none of the drivers will be awarded any points, but you can see on the screen here 11th through 19th as well. As Jim, would you like to invite our podium finishers for the night's race?
I can.
Heredia, Clay, and Gary.
Well, I might have to type it in.
Yeah, it might just be quicker. So I'm going to try my best to get to show off the cars of these 3 finishers here. Give us something to look at besides just what's it called? Unfortunately, Luke, in the chat, we run it like by ourselves in hosted lobbies basically, so we don't actually have we don't run it through the league itself, so we don't know the exact standings right now. But all I gotta say is I think Heredia will be our points leader going into next week.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yes, he was only 1 point behind Clay to start the night.
Clay will be
and winning the
second.
race, he got +7, +6.
Yeah.
I don't know math.
I'm really struggling here. But we're gonna wait for our 3rd place driver because we like to go.
We need our
production. First.
Our production trailer needs to give us some better graphics and have some updated points by the time the race ends. Otherwise, we're just up here looking like fools.
As I'm scrambling through the menus trying to get to the offline races, to answer your question, Luke, next week, Thursday at 9 will be our next D1 race. We are joined by our 3rd place finisher, Garrison. How are you feeling tonight, man?
Honestly, I'm surprised I even finished 3rd. No cap. I'm surprised.
I got you, man. That was a pretty treacherous race from the looks of it. And those tire strategies were very differing towards the end of the race there. How were your tires feeling? Because I believe you were actually on the mediums there. So towards the end, I think they were 14 laps old. Can you give us a rundown of those last few laps there trying to survive?
I really had good grip, mainly through from lap 10 on. I didn't really start to lose grip until maybe 26, 27. That's when I had to really play easy with the throttle, but they're around 40 to 50%, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, the mediums can last a good amount of time, as they are the middle ground tires between the softs and the hards. Good showing tonight, as I'm going to hand it off to Big Jim. You got any questions for our third place finisher here?
Yeah, solid drive tonight, Gary. That was pretty impressive. I mean, you qualified second and you finished third, stayed on the podium. Going about what happened with the two in front of you, do you think there's any chance you could have caught them, or do you think just a little bit too much battling back there with other guys kept you away from a chance at the win tonight?
I don't think I could have caught Clay or Heredia. They just have way much better pace than I do. Plain and simple. Even if I think I got around like useless and everybody else sooner, I wouldn't have caught them anyway.
That's fair enough. You're putting on quite a show here in Formula One. You have sole possession of the championship lead in D2, and you are putting on pretty well in D1 as well. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job tonight, Gary. Thank you for joining us up here, as we're going to move along to Clay, who was our pole sitter, led 27 laps tonight. How are you feeling after that one, man? Got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, like, I really did know these softs weren't gonna last, but like, I'm like, maybe I can just pull away enough a gap to where I don't need to worry about anyone else. But yeah, they were not good. I was at like 70% at the end, so it's not good. But GG for Heredia, nice win.
Yeah, man, that's what I thought the strategy was just to try and build that gap as much as you can there between you and Heredia on that final restart. But unfortunately, these softs were just too worn out for finishing this race up. Still a great showing from you tonight. One pole by half a second in the qualifying session. Nobody has seen besides the drivers, unfortunately. But Jim, you have any questions or comments for Clay?
Listen, Clay, I know you didn't win tonight, but I'm going to give you most impressive driver of the night for being able to hold on to the lead as long as you did with 14-lap-old softs. I know that even Heredia was probably sliding around on those mediums behind you. I can't even imagine what those softs felt like. Can you kind of just go through what was the feel of the car there with 3-4 to go?
Yeah, 3-4 to go. I wasn't really sliding. I was just had really bad grip, so I couldn't like I couldn't rest on the brake. I had to go full power on the brake so I can stop and make the corner. So it was pretty tough to just, keep a consistent speed and, know where to gain and everything.
Yeah, impressive stuff. Regardless, I was kind of mesmerized. It's going to be one heck of a battle for the championship between you, Heredia, and Joker. Can't wait to keep watching that in the next couple weeks. Congrats on your runner-up position and most laps led, and hopefully next week you can get it done.
Yep.
Yeah, man, good drive tonight. More than good drive, of course. Great drive, fantastic drive, whatever you want to call it. 27 laps led, fastest lap in the pole. But thank you for joining us up in the booth. Good job on your P2. As we're moving over to our race winner, the Heredia God, from P last in this session, all the way with fighting attrition, fighting everybody on the racetrack. Coming up, finishing P1. How are you feeling after that one, man?
That's a championship statement right there. I'm pumped.
Yeah, man, that was absolutely unbelievable to watch. You just drive through everybody in the field, whether it was the safety cars or just the pit strategy as a whole, getting to the mediums there, which I believe was the right choice. Of course, you ended up with the win. Glide us through those last 4 or 5 laps, maybe just the final lap as well. Going through your mind, what were you thinking?
Well, I thought he had it. I was gaining like say 4 or 5 tenths a lap, but I didn't think it was gonna be enough. But I think, as he was talking about, where he just couldn't brake and that grip was just gone away. So them mediums were just very beneficial at the end there. And I try to keep it as clean as I can for my future teammate for next season. Van, I think I kept it pretty clean. I definitely used him up just a little bit, but I felt like there was enough room for him to side by side to the last quarter. So
Yeah,
Jeez.
man. That was you had us all fooled up here in the booth. We didn't think you were gonna get there because, yeah, like you said, you were gaining maybe 4, 5 tenths a lap, but we didn't think that was gonna be enough. But then you all of a sudden gained a second or to like a second and a half in the second and final lap, and then getting to and passing Clay on the last lap. Bit of contact there, but that rubbing is racing, you know. So I can't blame you for any of that. As I'm going to pass the torch over to Big Jim. You got any questions for Heredia tonight?
That was one of the best. We've seen a lot of great finishes this season in D1, but that one had to be one of my favorite because it was you on the offensive coming from dead last, 19th. You came all the way up from 19th to first, with practically no ERS half the race. I was looking at your ERS in the telemetry, and you had none because you were working your way up through there. But you have to kind of go back and tell me how it felt when that caution came out and you were able to come down and put on the mediums. Did you feel like you had the best chance out of everybody there, or do you think maybe Gary had the best chance? What was your mindset right there after that first safety car?
Well, after that first safety car, it kind of screwed me at first. Well, it screwed me at first because all the track position I came was coming from the back. I lost like say 3, 4 positions. Then I seen Porchy die. Then like I thought Clay had it, the sauce. I thought they're gonna last at least a little longer, but I mean I made quick work of it somehow, some way, and it's just luck.
I wouldn't say just luck. There's a lot of skill involved in passing 18 other competitors tonight and getting that win. You got 3 more races to go. You got the Belgian Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix, and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. How are we feeling for this championship?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty confident. As long as Jackson decides not to race, maybe with his performance tonight, I'll go up there. But as long as he doesn't race, should be a good 3-way battle for the title. And Brazil is one I'm circling. So
Pretty convinced he's retired, and I don't. I think Darludo is taking over his car for the rest of the season.
But thank you to our podium finishers for joining us up here in the booth.
Bit.
Congratulations to our top 3 finishers for finishing where they did, especially you, Heredia, from going P19 to P1. Fantastic drive from all 3 of you. Thank you to everyone in the chat who joined us tonight here in Texas. Next week is Spa over in Belgium, so make sure to join us for that. That is race 10 out of 12. This championship battle is heating up from we saw tonight. Thank you to everybody, and I hope everybody has a great night.